For speaking to us and for giving us your time here on NewsX. And with that, viewers, let's move across. I'm also joined in by some other esteemed panelists. I have with me here Dr. V.N. Jha, retired group captain, former joint director of the DRDO, space scientist. Mr. Dr. P.K. Ghosh is also with us. And I also have Space Kids CEO, Dr. Srimati Kesan. Thank you to you all for joining us. And Dr. Jha, let me start with you. Firstly, how do you feel?
I feel so thrilled. Many compliments to Skyroot, but more than that, I really admire the PMO to have taken this challenge of making the private players come in the space sector, and that's a huge step. And Skyroot has proven it with a very young team of their scientists and the engineers. So many compliments. Of course, this is not the first time that we are seeing the Skyroot success. At your channel only, I remember in June 21, November 22, and 2024 also, when they had 5 different types of rocket and they had achieved a minor feat. We had discussed these particular things for you. But Skyroot has given a new dimension to the propulsion system by having the carbon-carbon casing. With that, I was foreseeing that it would be reusable vehicle. You know, the carbon-carbon component is something that you can make even the re-entry through the normal velocities and withstand the type of heat that it comes there. And it could be a reusable vehicle. So those things, of course, we are going to see in the future. This was the first step for the Skyroot to prove the system, to be able to achieve the orbital velocity. You know, that is something so crucial. At least I recollect 3 of the SpaceX rockets having failed because they were unable to achieve that orbital velocity of 7.4 kilometer per second. It just came about 7.2, and all their 36 odd rockets, satellites, they had fallen down. So this was so crucial. And secondly, injecting in the desired orbit is something that we are seeing. Of course, ISRO has been doing it time and again, and they have successfully held the Skyroot to have that technology, and now they have already mastered it. They have done it. So many congratulations to the Skyroot, and I think here starts a new dimension for the Indian space launch vehicles journey. Now this is capable of sending about 350 to maybe even in the coming days 500 kgs of the payload into the desired orbit. And the world over there is a need for the launch vehicles, a reliable launch vehicle. So I'll only hope that Skyroot follows a very strict Q&A, quality assurance in their production line, that there is no deviation. There could be one independent Q&A agency who can ensure that every rocket components and the subsystems that in ISRO we saw many failures in the PSLVs and GSLV. So that doesn't happen. Now this particular rocket is proven today, and they should maintain, they should freeze the specification. At the same time, value additions can continue on. So with this, now they should start the launch process so that they are also viable economically. With every launch, they will be earning the foreign exchange or the valuable money. So they have to sustain their journey through the economic lines as well. So many compliments, congratulations to Skyroot, congratulations to the entire team. And I only hope that in the coming days, they even progress more. What Mr. Madhavan and I was saying, that they should look forward to launching, 10 tons, 20 tons, 30 tons. I think that is one area where ISRO should take a lead, because ISRO's capacity today is just about 8 to 10 tons or so. And that too with a booster. They should have a rocket, like SpaceX has. Their Falcon 9 rocket can send 22 tons. So what stops ISRO to have such technology? I think that is one area that ISRO must take a lead in developing higher capability rockets. In the coming days, India is planning to make its own space station. And when we are going for the space station, we should be able to carry 20 tons, 25 tons, 30 tons of the load at one go. So that's a big challenge for the ISRO. ISRO should now itself dissociate from small launchers. Gone are the days of SLV. In the last few years, we have seen ISRO attempting to have SSLV. So leave those things now to these private players and venture for the much more robust and heavy lift that India needs right now. So best wishes to Skyroot, the compliments to its team, and I feel honored to be associated with this journey of the Skyroot.
All right, let's also bring in Srimati Kesan at this point in time. Srimati Kesan, thank you very much for joining us. How are you feeling, especially because Space India Kids satellite is among those in the payloads? What are your expectations and how soon would you know about their deployment?
I think I am jubilant. I'm just content to sit here to hold myself like this. But otherwise, it is such an exciting and absolutely thrilled moment because, the day we launched our Kalamsat, first ever time, some private small organization to have their satellite that was built by children between 14 until 19 years going up a PSLV C-44 was jubilous. Now this is even more excitement because this is India. Guys, look at India. We are coming. We have a varied range of rockets now because space economy is a huge economy that needs to be thought about, and how we market our rockets is very important. See, we are working with 108 countries now for our mission Shakti Sat. What we get to understand is the whole world is looking at India as a very, very friendly, friendly country that can welcome them to build a satellite and to launch. Because owing to the tense situations around the world, the war scene, people are literally nervous to go to US or China or anywhere in the world to launch their satellites. But they want to come to India. And I think this is a very, very strategic move by our Indian space ecosystem, our Honorable Prime Minister, who has strategically opened the space ecosystem for private players. ISRO hand-holding the startups in space, authorizing it. I think it's a strong four-pillared India.
Absolutely. We feel your excitement. It's resonating with us and we're as excited as you are. Dr. P.K. Ghosh, I want to come to you as well. How do you think the ecosystem providing funding for these private unicorns, this is the first Indian unicorn in space sector, and that making such a huge mark in India's space journey. How has India's space sector transformed from 1963 to today, and where are we looking at in the coming years?
Exactly. I think I'm thrilled, of course, at this fantastic launch which happened, textbook style, though there was a small hitch up at the last moment, but everything went off very well. Now, this is precisely what I wanted to say. You just see a person who would have been there at that time, that is our founders and who had set up this entire space organization, ISRO and so on. They wouldn't be able to recognize what's happening. Just see what is the ecosystem how it has developed. A few years ago, you wouldn't dream of letting all the sensitive technology to private participation. But now, you see what is happening the world over. That is, you've got everybody says SpaceX, Blue Origin, you name it, there are hundreds of them, and they are doing beautifully. And now what we are doing, we have got Skyroot, we have got Agnikul. Skyroot is a unicorn, $1.5 billion worth of this thing, and look at a brilliant launch that they just had. So we are on the right track, and hats off to, I would say, Shri Modi ji for encouraging this,
Yes.
for creating an entirely new environment where it is realized that technology needs to be developed to some extent by ISRO, DRDO, etc. But you also need to handhold the private enterprises so that they come up. Now, did you see, and this was something that struck me when the founder of Skyroot said, the mean average age of
Is
the
20.
scientists and the people working in his organization is just
28.
28 years.
Yeah.
Now, this is fantastic. That means the youngsters, the youth of our country are joining this, and we have produced wonderful results. But now here comes the other aspect, which I want to, we are now, as we have been for some time, on the big table. We are going with the big boys. If we are going with the big boys, we got to run with them. And when we've got to run with the big boys, we have got to really put in our efforts. As Dr. Nair mentioned,
Yeah.
10 tons of payload are not enough. We are going to have Antariksh, the space station very soon. You need, as Dr. Jha said, you need 20 tons. You need 30 tons of payload, because you've got to maintain that. This has got to be the scenario. So, what is the way ahead? The way ahead is, now you see, in SpaceX, they do about 60 to 70 launches per year. I'm not saying we match them, but we have got to keep running and doing better. So, what is the way ahead? After all the hand-holding which is being done by ISRO and other organizations, our private enterprises need to come up. They need to run faster, and we need to get nearer to the world standard. We are a space superpower, but we need to run with the big boys, and this is the first step. And I think we have done very well, but we have miles to run, and we have a lot to run.
But
I think that is the way ahead.
Yes, but like they say, to have started is half done. I think we can safely assume we are very close to entering that big boys club. And Srimati Kesan wants to make a remark. I'll have you tell me that very quickly. We're running short in time. And
I understand. I'm not going to take too much of your time. Yes, the capability, of course, Dr. Ghosh, we have the capabilities of building big rockets. But the only thing is, the funding is important. And to, with the funding, I would say we need a strong marketing team. Gone are those days where we are going to take brochure to other countries.
Yeah.
I have visited all these African and other countries where we speak. The huge competitor for us is China. They attract them with freebies. We should understand the nuance of attracting the people from around the world. If we do not make marketing strategies, space industry is gone those days where we sit straight, think tall and with thick glasses. No, we also need to be as young and think about those strategies which can attract international buyers for space.
That's of course a very
Entirely
relevant.
agree with you. Entirely agree with you.
A very relevant point there that you make, and also very important coming from you. But Dr. Ghosh and Srimati Kesan, thank you very much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you and speak with you both and all our panelists. With that, we're slipping into a very quick break, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
देखिए सिर्फ मेरे